Welcome you all. As you all know, prelims got over. As usual, questions were quite tricky and challenging in the examination halls. As usual, UPSC was unpredictable. Understand many are telling that it was quite difficult, not able to complete the paper because of length. And I am expecting around 90 plus cutoff in this prelims. Those who are confident of clearing prelims start preparing for the exam. Hardly have some days. I have got set A. First question, consider the following statement with reference to India's response to climate change. This is something very hot topic. Yes, long-term low emission development strategies are a crucial tool for achieving net zero emissions by 2070. It looks quite fair. Statement looks quite fair. This session will not just to coming out with answers. There will be because for me approach is important. At the end, it is the approach will get selected, help you to clear the cutoff. Knowledge is one part, yes, definitely, but when you approach the question with trying to eliminate wrong statement, wrong keywords, that will make a lot of sense in the examination. This session is basically to address that particular element. Second statement, India's fourth biennial trade report. This is quite interesting statement. Around 8% decrease in greenhouse gas emissions in 2020 over 2019 might be just a lot of numbers are there. It is quite tricky. Okay. And look at the third statement. It is climate resilient development necessarily depends on quick and short-term achievement of emission reduction targets. Look at the statement. Quick and short-term achievement. This is the statement should be definitely in an eye on. That's why third statement is wrong. We cannot achieve climate resilient development in the short term. Right? It has to be a long term because something requires a lot of funding, a lot of investment, and a lot of strategic approach. By statement, these really wrong. That's why if you eliminate statement three, like statement one is empirically supported by statement two, yes, statement three contradicts approach implicit in statement one. That's also true. Statement 1 and Statement 3 together establish premise of long-term sustainability. The statement is wrong. That's why Statement 3 has to be wrong. 3 and D you have to eliminate. So you will end up having 1 and 2. Right? Statement 1 is empirically supported by Statement 2. Perfectly fine. And Statement 3 contradicts approach implicit in Statement 1. And look at the statement. 2 is perfectly fine. Coming to 1, empirically supported by Statement 2. Empirically, it's practicality, right? That's why, that's why, again, read the statement. India's long-term low emission development strategy is a crucial for achieving net zero emissions by 2070, right? That is possibility. That statement two is looking empirically possibility. That's why answer is one and two. Statement three you can easily eliminate. That's why it should not uh, creating confusion in the examination as well. Though it is quite lengthy statements, but as we have read enough about climate change, this question should not bother you in the examination. Coming to question number second, it's about Western Pollock Gibbon. Somebody who is from anthropology might be finding this question quite familiar. Sanctuary in Northeast India, no doubt, right? Endangered in the IUCN Red List. Fine, they have specialized vegetation and can easily swing between trees. Perfectly fine. But look at the statement 3. Statement 2 and 3 are contradictory. Somebody who is having strong and heavy build like gorillas, they find very difficult to, having characteristics of graduation, or they may not be able to swing between trees. That is the point. They are they are remarkably agile tree climbers, but they they possess strong and heavy build. That statement is wrong. Somebody who is having strong build may not be able to swing between trees. They find difficult. Trees are not that strong to you know, allow that kind of swing, right? Statement 3 is wrong. That's why statement 1 and 2 are, if you again, the same logic, D and C I'm removing. So you will be having 1 and 2. So 2 is anyhow it is right. So you do not have 2 on your option. It has to be 1 and 2. Somebody from anthropology find this question quite familiar or easy. Even without knowledge of anthropology, I think you should be able to answer this question. Coming to third, of the following best explains rationale for protecting mangrove ecosystem? Because I was solving this question, I find these questions quite familiar. Mangrove ecosystem, we are talking about mangrove ecosystem. When we talk about mangrove ecosystem, it is basically salt water. Cannot be cannot be basically fresh water. And they are salt, they are not salt sensitive, right? They are salt, you know, tolerant. It's a specific adaptation. As a result, first and two are wrong. Coming to third statement, by withstanding tidal surges and offering biomass resources, mangroves function both as natural bioshields and livelihood basis for rural communities. That is perfectly fine. That's why answer is 3. Look from the first page, okay, actually can be all can be easily handled in the examination. The approach is important, guys. Approach is important. One is knowledge. You try to come out with answers with knowledge. Another thing is you have to approach the question in a specific way. That's most important. We have to identify the keywords. So you have to identify statement possibly in a very smart way. You have to be very alert in the examination. You cannot just relax. The casual attitude won't get you marks. You have to be alert. You have to be cautiously understanding the demand of the question. Coming to next page, going to the next page. Okay, again, we'll try to solve this. Okay. In what ways does Byzantium International Seaport represent a structural shift in India's maritime trade and logistics policy? First statement is by functioning exclusively as a domestic cargo hub to reduce reliance on coastal shipping. Can you identify extreme statements here? Exclusively. Very extreme statement. Without knowledge, having knowledge about international seaport here, can you look out for important keyword? Keyword is extreme, the extreme keywords, right? Exclusively as a domestic cargo hub. Look at second statement by focusing primarily, again primarily, again international seaport, primarily on passenger cruise tourism. Doesn't make any kind of sense, right? So coming to third statement, by leveraging its natural deep draft strategic location to reduce dependency on foreign transshipment ports. That looks perfectly fine. But talking about foreign transshipment ports, do you think second statement makes sense? Primarily on passenger cruise tourism or domestic cargo hub. In the international domain, it is not possible to eliminate the need for foreign collaborators. We are trying to investment, guys, FDI, to set up, trade on, set up, build a port there. Do you think this statement, both statement look quite not logical, right? Even somebody who has framed kind of questions, they have made your life actually easy. You can definitely eliminate wrong options, guys. That's why answer is D. Please be careful. Read the statement carefully. These are easily manageable in the examination. Why I am so confident? Because I cleared 6 prelims. And when I gave a forest, even cleared forest cutoff as well many times. So you have to understand that approach is important. When you approach the questions in a more logical, more strategic way, I don't think you'll be finding difficult to clear the cutoff. No, Next question. Identify the river of Indian subcontinent on the basis of the following information. It has an antecedent drainage system. Antecedent means further than Himalayas. It flows through three countries. Basically, when we're talking about Tibetan Plateau, it has to flow from China, India, and Pakistan. CIP. It's important river for irrigation. Our river flows. It has to be important for irrigation some extent, right? And it does not form distributaries. That's very, very important hint. Here, the answer is Indus. Is available. Is there in the NCRTs. Somebody who has read NCRTs well, then I don't think this question will trouble you in the examination. So coming to sixth one. This is quite interesting question, guys. Why do I say it's quite interesting? Leave out first statement. By looking at second and third, you can definitely come out, with an answer. Why I am telling with so much confidence is because, look at the statement two. Rajasthan shares the longest international border among all Indian states. आपको क्या लगता है? It is not so, right? Because India has longest border with Bangladesh. Has to be West Bengal, somebody who is having longest international border. Then comes Arunachal Pradesh. And then might be, right? So Rajasthan cannot be the right statement. So coming to third one, Sikkim is the only state that shares border with one other Indian state. Why? I think you must have read geography multiple times. You must have seen Northeast map multiple times because of multiple issues, because of Bangladesh issue, because of Siliguri corridor issue. Meghalaya also shares border with only one state of India, that is Assam. That's why third statement is wrong. Second, third statements, if they are wrong, okay, coming to there is no 1, 2, 3 option here, right? We have to look out for 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 option is not there. As then one statement has to be correct. That is the first statement is correct. The second, third are wrong. That's why answer is 2 and 3. Please remember, Uttar Pradesh is boundary with highest number of around 8, I think. 8 plus 1 union territory, Delhi. Okay, it is manageable, guys. All questions in the examination actually manageable. If you have made mistakes, that means we have not read the questions carefully. I understand handling the examination is quite different thing than sitting just discussing like this. I understand, but I think you should have handled this very, very much better way, I would say. Coming to seventh one, with the which are the following statement with regard to arrival of Amur falcons at Doyang Lake in Nagaland. ETF from Mongolia are correct. Again, here you have to know the statement carefully. It showcases how sustained local conservation efforts can contribute to the arrival and production of international migratory birds. It's quite general. Just because somebody is trying to conserve it, then community-led conservation efforts always helps to attract more international migratory birds. Next statement, it reflects the global success of advanced tracking technologies that guide migratory birds back to their stopover sites. Guide, the keyword is guide. Do you think any technology can guide migratory species which are coming far away from Mongolia to come to Nagaland? It is a biological instinct, right? It is a need. It is basically uh, attraction of some ecosystem. They are finding they are finding very much livable. That's most important. It confirms that Amur falcons have adopted to permanent residence in India due to favorable habitat changes. Confirms that Amur falcons have adopted to permanent residency in India due to favorable habitat changes. Again, read the question carefully, the statement carefully. It confirms that Amur falcons have adopted to permanent residency in India due to favorable habitat changes. Okay, again, statement is wrong. That's why read the statement carefully, guys. Permanent residency. That is the wrong statement. They are migratory birds. They do not stay in one place. Hence, 2 and 3 statements are wrong. Answer is 1 only. Again, this is quite tricky, I understand, but manageable. Manageable, I'm going to say, if you have focused while reading, while understanding this question, I think you could have come out with right answer. I again repeat, it is easy to say sitting no by discussing this question paper after post exam analysis is quite easy, I understand. Possible. But who is preparing seriously for this examination should not be making such kind of mistakes in future. My genuine, my humble, uh, intention is to make sure that you people has to clear prelims, write mains, clear mains, go to interview, then your name should appear in the final list. If you are preparing hard for this examination, should not, not miss the chance of serving this nation by clearing this examination. By that, you have to be, clearing prelims without much difficulty. No, next question. Which among the following are the objectives of rain-fed area development initiative under National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture? Again, again, read the statement. Encouraging monoculture in rain-fed areas. We think we support monoculture. That is causing a lot of problems in Punjab, Haryana. Monoculture, no, no, we are actually under this program, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. When we are talking about sustainable agriculture, it cannot be monoculture, guys. It has to be, diversification of agriculture. Here we are supporting integrated farming system. Statement 1 is clearly wrong. So it cannot be A or B. No, coming to 2 and 3 and 3. C and D. C has to be right. Okay. No doubt it is general statement. I don't think you'll be finding difficult to uh, okay, reading this statement. Then coming to a second statement, increasing the rice cultivation in irrigated regions. Basic project is emphasizing upon rain-fed area. Rain-fed means where they are depending on rainfall, not on the irrigation system, because irrigation system is not so well developed in those areas. Rain-fed means they are completely dependent on rainfall, right? And statement is contradictory. Increasing rice cultivation in irrigated regions. That is contradictory. They will be focusing on, no, it's basically focused on rain-fed areas. Rain-fed means there is no irrigation system as such. Hence, statement 2 is wrong. There is 3 only. Go for it. Again, we have solved last 8 questions. Did you find any kind of challenges? Coming to ninth one, which of the following is or are the most significant implications of obtaining OCO tax certification for Iris Silk, the global textile industry? Okay. Allows Indian exporters to compete in high-end markets that prioritize chemical-free products. And it confirms that Iris Silk meets international safety and environmental and quality standards, enabling its entry into premium eco-conscious markets. Both the statements look quite good, and both the statements are correct. Both 1 and 2 is the answer for this. So coming to next, 10th one. Ships from which of the following countries have to cross the Strait of Hormuz to reach out to the Indian Ocean? And this region was very important, was in the news because of Israel and US combined war on Iran, and Iran was blocking Strait of Hormuz, which is considered to be very important, choking point. A lot of trade passes through region. No, read the question again. How to cross the Strait of Hormuz? Do you think Syria is Syria? Syria does not require it. It is there above Israel. Whenever trade happens, it can carry out through Mediterranean Sea. Look at Egypt. Egypt again, Sinai Peninsula is very close to Red Sea. does not require Strait of Hormuz. There are other two countries, Qatar and Bahrain, they require Strait of Hormuz. Again, very straightforward question. Don't think you must have find difficult to answer this. Next, 11th one. Tungurhua volcano, which was declared global geopark by UNESCO in 2025, is situated in the one which one among the following countries is Ecuador. It was in the news. Not know then you may not be able to answer this, but it was in the news. Okay. The answer is Ecuador. With reference to Madhav National Park, which of the following statements are correct? Declared 58th Tiger Reserve in India in 2025, no doubt. Sakya Sagar, which is designated as Ramsar site, is situated within this national park, no doubt. And area is shared between Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, no, completely in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. Statement 3 is wrong. The answer is 1 and again, straightforward question. It was in the news, and definitely whoever preparing for civil services, they will not go untouched. Tiger reserves. Now coming to 13th one, reference to climate of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Which of the following statements are correct? Again, climate can be defined as humid, tropical, no doubt. Those rainfall from southwest and northeast monsoon, again, no doubt, right? But maximum precipitation basically happens to southwest monsoon, not northeast monsoon. If it was northeast, statement 3 would have been right. But as they got more rainfall from southwest monsoon, mostly they will get more rainfall from whichever maximum precipitation is between May or June to September, October. So statement 3 is definitely wrong. Answer is 1 and 2. Again, no, we have solved 13 questions. Did you find any challenges answering these questions? I don't think so. Coming to 14th one, which are the following geographical features or phenomena is or are associated with peninsular block of India. Submergence of parts of western coast due to tectonic activity. It is directly mentioned in NCRT. Presence of residual mountain ranges such as Velikonda, Mahendragiri, no doubt, guys. Deep V-shaped river valleys formed by fast flowing rivers, especially Narmada and Tapi. You might find deep V-shaped valley. Yeah. But apart from that, you find some such kind of river valleys in Kaveri, Godavari, Krishna. No, right? They are natural, no? But such kind of deep V-shaped river valleys mainly found in Himalayan rivers, right? Himalayan region. That's why statement because they are new, they are youth rivers. They are very forceful. They carry a lot of sediments with them, but they are already mature, guys. Does not carry so much sediments. No, they have been flowing from last many centuries, and they are deposited sediments of the region. They are mature. Okay, that's why statement 3 is wrong. Answer is 1 and 2. Okay, now coming to next question. 15th. With reference to Sagarmala program, seeks to achieve ported economic growth, no doubt. Statement looks perfectly fine. Statement 2, success of the Sagarmala program is reflected in significant coastal and land waterways. Don't think there's anything wrong here. Sagarmala 2 aims to position India as a global maritime innovation hub aligned with Atmanirbhar Bharat. Again, the statement looks perfectly fine. Now coming to statement 2 validates different effectiveness of strategies and envisioned in statement 1. Okay. So now coming to statement 3 extends objective of statement 1. Both of statement look positive, look having loss synchronization. Coming to statement 3, contradicts. Such kind of statement we have seen in question number 1. Contradicts. There is no contradictory statements among 1 and 2 or 3. Right? That's why statement 3 is definitely wrong. Answer is 1 and 2. Again, somebody who is paying a lot of attention to the question details must have done all these 15 questions right. Okay. Next. Next, consider the following statement about Rhizostylis retosa, oxtail orchid. Again, somebody does not know means difficult to answer this question. If I take orchid, right, they're depending on other plants for their growth, which is endemic to Northeast India. They cannot be endemic to some region because found across India, right? In other parts of the world as well, they're not endemic. And two is wrong. It is the state flora of Arunachal. It is quite difficult as they are found in Northeast, but they are state flower. Again, difficult, but in the examination it is difficult. I can say it is not easy. Okay, but 16th answer is 190. Okay, this question is difficult if you do not know. Now coming to 17th one, which one of the following statements with regard to moidums it was in the news because of UNESCO heritage site built by the Tao Home Kingdom, right? This was the news. And somebody who has gone through newspaper regularly, somebody who has covered some good monthly magazines, definitely you must have answered this question perfectly fine. They are basically burial grounds of the royals and nobles. Okay. That's why answer is only three. This I consider easy to answer. Somebody who has known because UNESCO heritage sites are very very important. Cannot ignore those sites. Coming to 18th one, at the United Nations Ocean Conference held in June 2025 in France, the FAO of United Nations demonstrated its leading voice on marine issues, okay, which are the following combinations matters. Matters proposed by FAO for blue transformation is correct. Answer is better production, better nutrition, better environment, better life. No, understandably, it looks different. It's for me also it is difficult. If I if 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 I was giving these prelims, then I would have gone for you know trying to find some kind of hint in the options. Here, better production, better nutrition, better environment, better ocean looks fair enough. Option A, then better production, better nutrition, better environment, better life. It looks again perfectly fine. Then better coral reef, better nutrition, better environment, better life. It looks perfectly fine. Then better estuaries, better nutrition, better environment, better mangrove vegetation. So I would have gone for more broader issues, or broader thing. Compared to ocean and life, life is more broader topic. That's why I would have gone for option B. Okay, it is difficult to not know, but I'm using some kind of logic here, some kind of understanding, broader understanding to answer this question because FAO, when organization, they will be looking out for a broader issue, broader topic rather than a smaller, narrow topic. Okay. Next, which of the following statement with reference to Lake Turkana or, or correct? Largest desert lake. Okay, that is statement is perfectly fine. Lake again. Whenever we talk about important lakes, you should know its location as well. It's basically located in Kenya, not in South Sudan. And two is wrong. The third statement is correct. One and three is the answer for this. Okay. And remember, you know, two out of this again 20th question. One of the following is the first uh, plan Vivo certified reducing emissions for deforestation and forest degradation project in India. Answer is Khalsi Hills community. Again, this is some was in the news, current affairs. Out of these 20 questions, I find two questions not possible to answer. To be frank, when I was in this situation, I would have definitely find these two questions, especially Arcana, because of third segment was quite difficult to guess, but yes, but I've gone for it because three is there in all the statement. I have to select statement. I have to see whether two is right or wrong. If two is wrong, yes, definitely Turkana location is important, right? Two definitely goes out. C and D will be eliminated, and I'll be allowed left with one and A or B. Then three again you have to take some guess. I have to take chance here. I would have taken chance, but I don't know whether I would have gone for one or B. I don't know. No, coming to 20th, it was in the news, yeah, current affairs. I would have taken some logic, kind of. Then item it was in the news, no doubt. This was difficult for me. Since taken chance here, but again difficult too. I would have eliminated. So it was difficult for me. I would have left this question 16th one. Okay, then apart from 16th and 19th, right? All other questions I would have managed the examination, guys. I would have somehow uh, corrected these questions somehow, okay? Because those questions are having some kind of hint in the language being used. Okay? And I hope, you know, again, we'll come back with part two where I'll be discussing other questions. Out of these 20 questions, two questions I find it, or three questions I find it difficult to answer. 17 questions out of 20 would have been really amazing ratio, guys. Probability of really good chance of out of 20 you are making 17 correct. Amazing thing. Okay, I hope you definitely have answered these questions perfectly fine. Okay, and even if it is not fine, also not to worry. Okay? Learn from mistakes. Again, I will come back with part two where I will be discussing from 21 to 40. Okay, and thanks for watching.